everyone, OliveGrummer here, and as you can tell, this is a different kind of review from normal. This is just going to be a segment taken from the podcast itself. That way, if you guys just want to see our review, you don't have to go through the entire podcast. But joining me, I've got Squid. You guys know him from all of the reaction videos and
All day.
just a lot of videos in general. He's part of the S'mores cast and part of the channel and stuff like that. And I also have Red Light Anime joining me for the first time in a podcast and video, so give him a warm welcome, everyone. But we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the review for Avengers Infinity War. I'll go ahead and say what I think real quick. I thought it was very well done. Obviously, it's just blowing up in the box office. The way they had us basically almost on edge the whole time to a certain degree, where you think there was a calm spot, but then all of a sudden, bam, action. And then it would like go in trebles and troughs and stuff like that. And I thought it was absolutely amazing how the way they made a 2-hour, 40-minute movie not seem like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Agree.
Other than that, without going into too many details until after I get your ideas, we'll go into more details and specifics after I get your opinions and stuff like that. So what do you guys think? We'll start with Red Light Anime because he's the guest. So
Got you.
I thought the movie was good, but then obviously I don't want to spoil anything or like crazy, but like the ending had me shook. You know what I mean? Like I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and
Really?
let's just say, yeah, the Spidey, he wasn't seeing his brightest days at the end. So like the movie obviously was good, and I agree with you. It didn't feel like 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it's like it felt like the same old thing, kind of a Marvel movie where it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's a bunch of good guys fighting a bad guy, and then it's like usually the good guys win. But it's like with this one, it was like kind of like a twist. So I really like that part.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I had something. Oh, I do want to add real quick before Squid goes. I love that. I mean, obviously it was a high budgeted movie, so the CGI, of course, was absolutely fantastic. Squid, what are your overall thoughts? And then we'll go into more specifics once you finish that.
I mean, basically, like, yeah, it definitely kept me on my, edge of my seat. I definitely didn't know. I mean, I definitely had a lot of questions about about the ending, because obviously Facebook and people putting, different memes and stuff out there, so you kind of was like, what's gonna happen? I kind of already knew how the ending was going to end. I already kind of assumed it was going to be, definitely a darker ending. But yeah, I mean, definitely it was real good for the, for the most part. It definitely was, good. They did Thanos pretty well.
Yes.
They did Thanos pretty well. Wakanda forever. Wakanda was dope. As always. Everything's pretty cool. They kind of jumped around enough, kept you on your P's and Q's. Different situations. So you never really got burned out on one situation.
Yeah.
You just kept on moving. So yeah, definitely. Definitely top 5 Marvel movie, if not top 3, probably top 5 for sure though.
Yeah, I would definitely give this definitely up there with you as well. I agree with you on that one, and definitely would overall probably rate this movie an A. I would give this movie an A for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely it's close to 90ish, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's close to A. I'm not sure exactly A, but it's definitely up there for me.
What about you, Red Light Anime?
I'd give it like a B plus probably,
Really?
just because I'm salty about the ending.
Fair enough.
Understandable.
Okay, so before we go into completely nitty-gritty specifics, what we'll do now, since this is still recording the review, we'll hit some kind of big topics, and then we'll discuss them, and then I'll end the recording, and then we'll go into a little more detail after that. So I do want to say the Stormbreaker scenes and all that stuff was absolutely awesome. Thor was really cool. Um, Peter Dinklage, having him as a giant dwarf was absolutely genius in my book because he's obviously a little man in real life, and having him taller than everyone was fantastic in my opinion.
Very funny.
Yeah, and then basically, what was I gonna say? I do want to I do want to bring up a couple of things. I have a list of stuff I wanted to talk about. So, did you guys watch the end credit scene?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we do know Captain Marvel is obviously confirmed for her standalone movie, and then she'll be in the next one coming out next year, May 3rd, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, all right. Yeah, Stormbreaker. The cool thing about Stormbreaker is this. All right. Yeah, the cool thing. Dante just hit us up in the cast.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Stormbreaker is this. I don't know if anybody that reads the comics or whatever.
It's almost exactly the same.
No, not exactly.
Well, design-wise, like the light and lightning coming from him, because I watched the video on it earlier.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Stormbreaker. Well, Stormbreaker in the comics is definitely more around the size of Menelair. And just similar size to that, in just bronze or gold colored or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about Stormbreaker is that there's a character called Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill, and I remember in the Thor Ragnarok 3 trailer review we did, I basically said that Beta Ray Bill is practically a clone of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not. He's an alien. He's from a different alien species. He's a very powerful warrior. Him and Thor fought each other, in hand-to-hand combat, and they drawed. A lot of stuff happened. Gained Thor's respect.
The second time Thor lost.
I think you're correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Odin granted Beta Ray Bill Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker is basically just as powerful as Menelair. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Menelair, Thor's hammer. But the funny thing, and then Thor Ragnarok 3, whenever they came on the planet, which I can't, for whatever reason, can't remember at the moment the name of the planet, they had a statue of Beta Ray Bill's head on the statue of
Yeah. I saw that. Yep.
Yeah. Beta Ray Bill's head, all that stuff. But what I was going to say, Stormbreaker in the movie actually looks way more like, because Stormbreaker in the movie, obviously Stormbreaker is a bigger weapon than Menelair was. Stormbreaker is a pretty actual big hammer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie actually was a bigger weapon. It actually, to me at least, it favored more of Thor's ultimate hammer in the Ultimate Universe. Before they made it part of the regular continuity in comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ultimate Thor's hammer actually looks a lot more like the cinematic Stormbreaker than Stormbreaker looks like Stormbreaker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the reason for that is, if y'all know anything about Norse mythology, whenever Menelair was being made, I'm pretty sure it was Loki that tricked the elves to making the handle short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might have been a trick. I'm not sure.
I don't know this. Yeah.
It was. I think some of them have it as purposeful, others have it as a trick. But either way, the handle wasn't supposed to be that short. But I think in the Ultimate Universe in Marvel comics, they made it like regular length. So it's like this big, awesome hammer. And yeah, but continue.
Oh, I do want to say there was one thing about the movie overall that I forgot to mention earlier was the fact that I don't want to go to too many details comparing this with Star Wars, but we can do it after the recording. But the one thing I didn't like about Star Wars was they had like all those cheesy one-liners that I don't know, it just didn't feel natural to me. All the one-liners in this movie that made you chuckle and laugh and stuff like that, it felt more natural. I don't know if it just, I don't know why, but it felt natural to me, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, because it didn't feel forced. Because I mean, Marvel set the tone pretty early on with one-liners, especially Tony and Iron Man.
Yeah, I was
You
about to
know,
say that.
Mm-hmm.
like they set the tone very early on with cheesy one-liners, being smart, being a smart ass, being quippy, being quick with it. They set the tone pretty quickly. So that's just the atmosphere that they operate in. So you know, Star Wars isn't operating that atmosphere.
Yeah, well, at least the new Star Wars, stuff like that. Like the older one didn't, but the new one it just didn't match. But
Yeah.
do you guys have any final good? Not I'm not gonna say good, but any final big thoughts? We'll end the recording,
Wait,
but we'll
I can
keep the
spoil stuff
discussion
now?
going.
I can spoil stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can spoil stuff. So we can spoil
All right.
stuff.
All right. The only dumb thing was they changed Thanos' motives slightly, and I think that might have kind of messed with some things
Mm-hmm.
because in the comics, Thanos' motives is that he is in love with Death, the physical embodiment of death, right?
Yes.
So the reason he gets the stones and all that is to literally impress Death,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when he gets the stones, he snaps his finger. And it's not like this big epic snap like they made it in the movies, when his gauntlet burns out and stuff. It's literally like you're just snapping and it's easy,
Yeah.
It's not like this big thing is an instant, it's an instantaneous thing. It's not this emotional dragged out thing, it's an instantaneous thing. And he didn't impress Lady Death, and Lady Death basically kind of shrugged him off, and he basically brought everything back right after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in the comics is that for him to cause balance, for him, because not enough resources to go around, too many mouths to feed, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other things he can do to solve that problem besides killing half the people.
Yeah, and another thing about that one is where with the scene where we saw everyone just disintegrating and stuff like that. It was random selection. At first it seemed like, I don't know, like at first I don't know if you had this feeling, but at first it felt like only specific people were surviving.
I mean,
But
all the original, all the Phase 1 original title characters are alive.
yeah, but like I was surprised at first. I thought it was like, okay, people who landed hits on him, or people who killed X amount of henchmen or minions or whatever those monsters were called. And then I realized it was more random selection because earlier on in the movie he was like, okay, this is like, I'll solve it by random selection. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, because dude,
You're gonna go.
huh?
You're just gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was I gonna say? I mean, in the post-credit scene where you had Samuel Jackson, I totally forgot his character's name, which I thought it was.
Maria.
Yeah, when he was like mother, I was like, they had to throw that in, but I didn't expect him to disappear.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
If I was Thanos, yeah, forget that random selection stuff. I'm definitely killing most of the Avengers. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
an issue.
agreed.
My man's gotta go. But that's the whole thing about it is like, at this point, I feel like it's super lazy. So hopefully in Infinity Wars 2, they kind of talk to Thanos, and like kind of find out like why did Thanos actually do it? Maybe not. But it seems like he genuinely was looking for balance. But you can make more plans. You can make more resources. You have the Mind Stone and the Soul Stone. You can change people fundamentally.
Yeah.
At their core, you can make things different. You can make it where people can all live together. You have one of the strongest weapons. Well, I think in the cinematic universe is the strongest thing, but like top 5 strongest individual thing in the Marvel universe, flat out.
Yeah, you can legit change anything.
Yeah, like legit change anything. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet is like top 5 most powerful thing thing in the Marvel universe.
It's so powerful. Even people that are good, like, it's too powerful for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Infinite Tribunal. I think it's the Infinite Tribunal. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Eternal Tribunal. He's more powerful than Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet, because and then the one above all for sure, and I think maybe a couple other characters, but for sure them two are easily more powerful than Thanos. We can't do nothing with him, but for the most part, he can do whatever he wants. He's acting wild 5-year-old with it. He's not being creative at all. He's just not really 5-year-old, like old man, I guess. He's just not being creative at all with it. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he
and
has
there's
space zone. He can be anywhere at once. not just teleporting anywhere at once.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That I'm gonna say I'm gonna end the recording here. So let me do the outro real quick, and then I'm gonna bring up a topic. Um, so for those who are watching just a review, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know your comments let us know your thoughts and comments and stuff like that in the comments below. Check the description for social media donations, everything you can help us with to get the gang back together as soon as possible and help us progress to where we want to be as a channel and whole. But just to warn you guys, I'm not ending the live stream. I'm just ending a cut of the live stream. So keep the live stream going. We're not ending the live stream yet. So thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you in the live stream. So this is incentive to join our live discussions. Bye, everyone.